And when I say position, I don't actually mean position. I mean a role of leadership, because what leadership is not is simply a position like we talked about before. Even though we have this image of a hierarchy or a structure, that's not necessarily what we mean by leadership. It's not positional, although it can be. It's also not performative, although it can be. I think of like the royal family in England. Like, they're not really leading anything or guiding anything, but they are symbolic leaders of a country. They're a family that represents the family of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. Whether you agree with it or not, that's the role they're attempting to fill. So they're a symbolic performative leadership group, a family that's supposed to symbolize something and perform that out. Mm-hmm. But true leader, I wouldn't consider them true leaders. They're more symbols than leaders. True leaders actually have something they're guiding us toward. They're directing us toward. They're helping us go from point A to point B or Z or beyond.
Yeah, well, I would say that there probably is some form of leadership there. It's just that the symbolic position existed first.
Yeah.
And then people fill it. I think when you're making a contrast between what leadership is and is not, I think when a person they find themselves in a position, but it's not symbolic, and yet they act as if it is.
Yeah,
that's the problem, and that's when things are performative. Like, we have a lot of challenge with that, I think, in American politics. A lot of it feels real performative, right? It feels positional and performative. It feels like theater, really.
The Kardashians go to Washington kind of energy.
Yes, exactly. And I would say that the Kardashians are very much in positions of leadership as well, because they're highly influential to trends and, how people want to grow up and who they want to become when they get older. Like, there's a real leadership quality there. Whether or not that's fully realized or understood or always managed in the most responsible way, there's still that component there. And there always is with influencers. But American politics is really interesting. I just recently saw a video. I don't know, it wasn't very long, and I don't know if it had gone viral or if I just ran into it, but it was a congressman on a day that was like a work day, like a legitimate work day, not a holiday. It wasn't like, the end of December or anything. And it was a legitimate work day where they had, I think he and a couple of other people just, sponsored a bill. And he said, there's two people in this room. There's the person who's supposed to be guiding the meeting. The speaker, who always has to be there. And him. And he's like, and where is everybody else? Nobody's here.
Yeah.
And what's so funny is he said, we should be here arguing about this bill. We should be here talking about it. We should be going back and forth on the costs and benefits of it. We should be kind of maybe even a little at each other's throats about it in order to make sure it's in the public's best interest, but nobody's here but me.
Yeah.
And what's so funny is I see the Congress as being filled more increasingly with younger people who are very active on social media, have millions of followers, both sides of the aisle, by the way. Lots of people who follow them, and they're supposed to be in these positions of leadership, but their actual day job of being in that room, where are they? Right. But I'm sure if you followed them on that same day, they would have, tweeted a couple things and maybe made a stand about something. But what is the actual position? Is it performance on Twitter, or is it actually being in the seat during, a meeting at Congress and arguing about a bill?